Today I'm going to be talking about a debt payoff spreadsheet. What it lists is all debts owed, and that's credit cards, any kind of loans, car loans, student loans, boat loans, SUVs, motor homes, student loans, I think I said car loans, mortgages, and how you can pay them off quicker. So I'm going to get right into it. So the first column is the debt name, what you owe, like a credit card, one, two, three, you have three credit cards. This hypothetical situation, this person has three credit cards. They have a boat loan, they have a car loan, they have a student loan, and they have a mortgage. So the balance of what they owe on each one of these is over here. The monthly interest rate on each item except the mortgage is listed here. The reason I don't have the mortgage listed is because it's amortized, and that's a different kind of interest. This is simple interest. All of this is simple interest. This is amortized, different kind of compounding, different way they load the interest. It's front loaded interest. So that's why I don't have the monthly interest here. I wanted to list it though because it's important to see all of your debt in one place. Okay, so the balance for this month with the interest, that's this column right here. The interest rate on each item is right here. Minimum payment for the month, any extra money you're applying to any one of these, and the new balance for the next month is over here. So let me get some things out here first. I have some notes at the bottom. So assuming these interest rates up here are assuming that all loans are simple interest loans, which means now they could be calculated different. Interest it may vary depending on the calculation method. It might be a daily compounding rate, a monthly compounding rate, or a quarterly compounding rate. But we're just going to say they're all simple interest. Daily compounding is what I'm using, simple interest method in this scenario. The calculations above are approximate due to the above two conditions, and I'm not including the mortgage in the calculations as the mortgage interest is amortized, which means it's calculated differently. It's front-loaded interest, and it's not calculated in this spreadsheet. That would be an amortization schedule where we could look at that then in a different, um, I think I have an amortization spreadsheet calculation on my zero debt for me already. So if you want to check that out. But like I said, I just listed the mortgage because you want to recognize it as debt. It's a debt. And if I only had these things on here, we wouldn't, it needs to be recognized on here as a debt that we need to get rid of. So anyway, so the balance, let's just go with credit card number one. The balance is $5,000. The interest rate is $75 a month. The interest rate is 18%. This is calculated, okay? So the balance plus the monthly interest equals $5,075. Now I have these listed in this spreadsheet from the smallest to the largest amounts that are owed. Some people have asked me, well, you should pay off this $8,500 one first because the interest rate's 20%. And I said, okay, well, you can do it that way, but this one's $3,500 lower. The balance is $3,500 lower. So when you pay this off, it's going to be like, wow, I already got rid of a credit card. And it gives you an adrenaline rush. This one's going to take you longer to pay off. And yes, it is a higher interest rate. I understand what people mean by that, but I always go lowest to highest. and put any extra principal that you can put against it each month over here. So anyway, so however you want to do it is fine, but you really don't want to start with like your student loan. Plus your student loan's only 4.5%. Well, I don't want to say only, but it's a lot lower than these guys up here. This is 4.5%. And this come to think of it, this student loan is probably calculated. This might be a different calculation in simple interest than these guys up here. So we just want to concentrate on these credit cards because when I think of credit card, it's the worst kind of debt because it's unsecured debt. You got an education for this. You have a car for this. You have a boat. You can sell these things. This is knowledge, okay? This is a house. These things are just stuff. Groceries, gas, restaurants, furniture, whatever you're putting on here. I don't know what these balances consist of, but this is what we want to do. And when you get this credit card number one paid off, you want to take that credit card and you want to put it away somewhere so you do not use it again. So this is going to be painful to pay off. You want to make it that way. You want to make it painful to pay off because then you're going to say, I don't really think I want that shirt. I don't think I want to spend $150 for dinner and put it on a credit card because it was painful for you to pay this off. So hopefully some lifestyle changes and habits will come out of looking at a spreadsheet like this for your own debts. But anyway, so what I suggest you do with that credit card is you take it if it does not have any fees associated with keeping it open. It doesn't have an annual fee on it or anything like that. There's no fees associated with keeping that account open. I would take that credit card and I would put it in a locked place somewhere, like in your safe deposit box or your safe or somewhere where you keep your important papers so it's not as easily accessible. You might even forget about it, which is fine, but you want to keep it open so it can positively affect your credit score. I do believe that if you close a credit card, like if I paid this one off and I said, okay, it's paid off, I'm closing this credit card, which is what I did in the 80s. When I get something paid off, I'd close the credit card. And it didn't have an effect on my credit back then. They've switched the way they analyze credit, and I do believe that that is a negative thing because your available credit, say your available credit on this card is $10,000, that available credit is not there anymore. So I would take that, sock that away somewhere after you get this one paid off, and then do the same with card number 2 and 3. So anyway, so let's go through this and look at it. So the monthly interest that you're paying on just these guys, the 3 credit cards, the boat, the car loan, and the student loan, are $676.99. So I just want to point something out. When we're looking at this, okay, so your actual payments for the month, these guys right here, okay, these guys, this totals $1,425. You made $1,425 worth of payments, minimum payments. And if you make minimum payments on something, you'll be paying on it forever. Well, it will seem like forever. You want to get rid of the debt. So these particular debts, the minimum payments equal $1,425. So I calculated it right here. $1,425 minus this monthly interest, which is not, it's just interest. You're socked $748.01 in 1 month against all of these. That's how much these came down. $748.01. I'll go down here as another example. The balances before the interest was added up here, these guys right here. So before you started paying anything, the balance was $68,750. The balance with the interest right here is $69,426.99. So the balance at the end of the month over here is $68,001.99, which ties out to 748.01. Okay, so with these debts, you paid out, let me reiterate, $1,425 that month in minimum payments, but you only got ahead $748.01. That's why it's very, very important to pay these off as soon as possible. So say you want to pay off, you have an extra $300 that you can put towards this guy, okay? So we'll put $300 in here. Look at the difference. Now this isn't going to calculate down here. It's just right here, $4,625, okay? Because this is an extra $300 that you're putting on there. So if you have an extra $300 every month, the next month you're going to take this spreadsheet, you're going to plug these numbers into the balance forward over here, and then this is going to calculate out. This will calculate out. All these guys will stay the same. Like if you go down here, you're in your spreadsheet, right click, move or copy, move to end, create a copy. You've got your second copy right here. So you're on your second copy. This is the next month. And you can rename these, like, I'm going to rename this. I right clicked on the name, put like October 25 debts. Okay, so this would be September, which, you know, I'm not going to rename that just because I'm doing something. I don't want to waste time. Okay, so we're going to go here and we're going to say copy, and we're going to come over here and we're going to say pay. Uh-oh, we have to paste special. Sorry about that. Values. Okay, there you go. So now I put this in here. Look, the interest came down. Let's go look at it over here. Okay. Now this stuff down here is not changing. It is, well, yeah, I guess these guys are changing, but down here, I'm not really paying any attention to that in the next couple months. I'm just looking at this top. So this was $5,000 with $75 in interest. So you paid your $300 plus your minimum payment. You paid $450 against us. So now it is at, or yeah, $450. So you paid $450. Your interest was $75. You're now at $4,625. So you're coming over here, $4,625. The interest is already down $5.62. So that's a good sock right there. So let's just try, let's look at the balance after the second month. 4,244. Okay? So if you keep doing this, this is going to be paid off pretty quickly. And then what you do when you're at zero with this one, just say this is at zero. You're at zero. We're not making any payments. Okay? We're not making any, we're not making any payments because we don't have any payments. But you have $450 that you are paying up here. We're going to put that here, $450. This one is going to come down pretty quickly. That's got a really high interest rate of $106 a month. Now, maybe you'll decide you want to put 225 here and 225 there because, but I would just get rid of one of them at a time. But I hope this makes sense, and it's a really great way to get rid of debt. And my opinion is you don't want any debt. None of these. If you look at my amortization schedule in my other video, you will see that this $250,000 mortgage is costing you dearly in interest because it's front loaded. In the beginning of the loan, you're, getting, I don't know, 90, $100. I forget what the scenario was. Principal, which means your equity in the house, and the rest is interest. So, debt to me is a four-letter word. I don't like it, and I try to keep myself out of it as much as possible. So I hope you found this video helpful, and I hope you like and subscribe, and I'll be posting more informational videos on how to do things like this in the future. So thanks so much for watching. Okay, bye-bye.